we've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to get our culture moving forward in the right direction. And the one thing that we were mindful of is we didn't want to quit on the group. You know, we're in a tenuous situation, there's no question. But the room believes, I believe in the room, and we're not going to quit on the team, and we're not going to quit on the fans, you know, who believe in us. If there was a deal to be made to help our team, really short-term, long-term, we do it. But we evaluate each one, and today we're okay holding them. Barkov and Bennett. Duclair is my ad, right? So now we're bringing into the mix another player, something else to help to bolster the room, to bolster the team. And absolutely, when you take your 1 and 2 centers, that's arduous trying to win. But we're excited to get them back. Well, of course, there's tremendous value and security in knowing, okay, we have our core together. What do we need to move forward to be better? What is the cost? And then make sure that that cost doesn't outweigh the benefit. So the extended contracts on the books, that's exactly what we need to do. And we need to do it delicately and do it the right way. We started talking a little bit to Radko, and we'll continue. We'd like to keep him if we can. And, it's a process now. We want to focus on these games. We want to make the playoffs, and we'll evaluate at the end of the year. I think it's been fantastic. He's been, our record on the ice is obviously not as good as it was. But when you look at where we started, what, $8 million? Let's just start with that, $8 million salary cap in dead space. That's players. That's one $8 million guy. That's four $2 million. That's a real impact. And he came in trying to think of the best words to use. Harness the energy and put some of the team energy into defense and structure and system, as opposed to more of a freewheeling style. And that's hard to do. It's hard to teach. It's hard to get people to buy in, to understand, to execute, and then to execute it with excellence at a high level. And it's a process. We've had any number of injuries to our stars. Sasha twice. Anton was out. Bennett's out. Ekblad. And those pay a toll, particularly when you have that $8 million deficit. And I mean, those are real, that's tangible players if you're going to spend to the cap. So I think he's done a fantastic job. When we interviewed Paul, you could tell he was the right fit for this group, and he is. He is. And he's teaching, and the individuals are improving, and it's coming. I take no solace in the fact that we'd like to be higher up right now, and we'd like to be in a better place, but it's coming. And he is implementing the systems that need to be implemented to achieve the real goals, winning the Stanley Cup. It's like shopping in Bal Harbor with empty pockets. But it was a different experience when we started, because we knew our assets, our assets are depleted, the typical things, the picks, the prospects we can't give up. And then the process itself this year, I think, was a little bit out of whack from some of the traditional years. And I think people have characterized it as an arms race. And it started to go, and I was thinking, last year people thought that I sold the cow to get some assets. This year would be the whole state, or maybe every farm in the county. And, we would have liked, as a manager, you always want to get you want to get players and pieces and put it together and help your team. And then sometimes when you're handcuffed, that can be a little frustrating. But we didn't want to make moves just to make moves. So it's important that if we do it, we have to be right. It's exciting for us because you're able to add without subtracting. But again, we've been very fortunate in the value contracts that we have. So, when you go to consider potentially doing a trade, you have Joe Smith, and Joe Smith makes $1 million, and whatever value Joe provides above that contract value, say that's what he's worth. Well, you've got to find someone who wants Joe, who's going to give you back a contract that's equal to Joe's, and that's outperforming his contract to the same extent Joe is. And if it's maybe it's a higher paid player, then does he fit in the cap? So it's not as simple as just saying, well, this guy's got 20 points and that guy's got 20 points. We'll do a swap. And we've been very, very successful at finding those value contracts, whether it's a Verhaeghe or a Montour or Forsling off waivers, even Mahura. But we have to continue to do that. We have to continue to make sure that we spend the right way, and we will. We will. No matter what I say, they're going to be empty words. I can tell you the truth and say, yeah, I'm confident they can do it. If you tell me intellectually, oh, well, the odds are this, okay, they are. But people have overcome far greater odds than what we're facing. And one thing I do know, and you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, we don't quit. We don't quit. I certainly thought there was going to be growing pains, and I thought that there was one thing that I've come to learn is change. Change is a little more difficult than I would have anticipated. But for sure, we knew we were up against it with the cap. We knew that sort of drag on our personnel was going to be real and be tangible. And, you know, it's just something that we accepted and we were willing to deal with. And we fully, look, it wasn't like they told us in September. We knew it was coming. Yeah. So, you know, the plan is just to go through the season and then see if it's prudent, do it. If it's not prudent, hold off. We've got, as you just pointed out, Samo and Benning are elite college players, and we look for them to make significant contributions. Sort of. So we have 5 or 6 guys that we think are blue chippers, and they're proving it, and they're getting the job done. So we're going to need them. We're going to need them in our lineup. We're going to need them contributing. So we're pretty excited, actually, about the one ability that we have that's relatively unique because our core is signed up. Is sometimes for younger players you say, I don't want to go, oh, there's so many good players. Oh, but then you get to play with good players, and that helps. And there's players who can cover your shortcomings and teach and lead and guide you. And I think that's a really exciting part, too, about the fact those prospects are going to be able to play with good players. Jack Devine is another guy, you know, so we're bullish on the prospects. He's been outstanding the last few months, and if any of you have had the luxury of seeing him around, nothing changes, right? If you ask any of the players on our team, who's the hardest working guy on the team, Sergei Bobrovsky. He's the ultimate pro, and it doesn't change, right? He knows what he needs to do. He prepares, and he just keeps doing his work. He's diligent about his process, and it's not a surprise. The protocol is such that I can't comment on it at all, but I can say that he has the support and care of everybody on our team, in our room, on the staff, everyone. And I think considerable amount. It's been 2 games, and I think he's been outstanding. I mean, if you saw him last night, I know we didn't get the result that we wanted, but his speed was noticeable with some men who could skate on the ice. And he played hard. I was so pleased with his game and happy for him after everything he went through. It's exciting to watch him because he's a guy who literally has continued to improve almost month to month during his tenure, you know, since I've been here. And I know he just came the year before. And he keeps getting better. He keeps showing flashes of getting to the next level. He's responsible. He's great defensively. He's killing penalties. We're so happy with him.